Welcome back to another Reddit deep dive. Today, we've got a story that is just wild. Imagine scrolling through Instagram. You see your girlfriend is live. You tap in, and the title is, "Breaking up with him right now. Watch me kick him out." Yeah, that's exactly what happened to our original poster. Let's call him Mark. So, Mark and his girlfriend, let's call her Chloe, had been together for about 2 years. Things seemed okay on the surface, but Mark mentions there were some underlying issues. They'd argue about small things, and Chloe had a flair for the dramatic. But nothing, absolutely nothing, could have prepared him for what was about to happen. Mark was at work, on his lunch break, casually browsing his phone. A notification pops up. Chloe is live now, he thought. Oh cool, maybe she's showing off that new recipe she wanted to try. He clicks on the live video, and his heart just drops. There's Chloe, sitting in their shared living room, phone propped up, with a determined, almost theatrical look on her face. And the caption, "Breaking up with him right now. Watch me kick him out." The comments were already flying in. Some were like, "Oh my God, what happened?" Others were cheering her on. "You go, girl." Mark was in a state of complete shock. He said he felt like he was watching a movie, not his own life imploding in real time for an audience of her followers. He tried calling her, texting her, but his calls went straight to voicemail, and his texts were left on read. She was fully committed to the performance. In the video, Chloe started a monologue. She talked about how she felt unappreciated and stifled. She pulled out a list she had clearly prepared beforehand, detailing all of Mark's supposed wrongdoings. Things like he leaves his socks on the floor and he never compliments my new outfits. The audience was eating it up. She was framing herself as this brave woman finally standing up for herself, while Mark was painted as the villain. The thing is, Mark admits he wasn't perfect, but these were things they could have just talked about. Instead, she chose to turn their private life into a public spectacle. While she's live, she starts packing his things. She dramatically throws his clothes into a garbage bag, talking to her audience the whole time. "See this shirt? He wore this on our first date. Now it's just a bad memory." She even picked up his favorite video game console and dangled it over a trash can, asking her viewers, "Should I do it?" The comments section went crazy. Mark said he felt a mix of rage and humiliation. This wasn't a breakup. This was a public execution of his character and their relationship. Mark decided he couldn't just sit at work and watch this unfold. He told his boss he had a family emergency, which, let's be real, it kind of was, and raced home. He was dreading the confrontation, especially knowing it would likely be broadcast to the world. As he pulled into the driveway, he could see her through the window, still live, still performing. He took a deep breath and walked in. The moment he opened the door, Chloe turned the camera towards him, and here he is. The man of the hour, everyone, she announced to her followers. Mark was stunned. The camera was right in his face. He just looked at her and said, "Chloe, what are you doing? Turn that off." She just smiled and replied, "Why, are you embarrassed? Maybe you should have thought about that before you took me for granted." This is where Mark, in my opinion, handled it with incredible grace. Instead of yelling, he just calmly started packing his own things. He ignored the phone and her taunts. He grabbed his essentials, his work computer, and a few personal items she hadn't already thrown into a bag. Her audience seemed a bit confused by his lack of reaction. They were expecting a shouting match, tears, drama. But Mark refused to give her the show she wanted. He packed a suitcase, and as he walked towards the door, he turned to her one last time. He didn't look at the camera, just at her. He said, "I hope this was worth it for you, Chloe. I hope the likes and comments you got were worth destroying everything we had." And then, he just walked out. He didn't slam the door. He just closed it quietly behind him. After he left, he could still hear her talking to her live audience through the door. Her tone had shifted. The triumphant act was faltering. He got in his car and just drove. He didn't know where he was going. He just needed to get away. A few hours later, his phone started blowing up with texts from mutual friends who had seen the whole thing. Most of them were on his side, shocked by Chloe's behavior. The aftermath was messy. Chloe apparently tried to spin the narrative, posting follow-up stories about her brave journey to self-love, but the live video had backfired on her. Many of her own friends called her out for being cruel and immature. Mark blocked her on everything. He said the hardest part wasn't the breakup itself, but the public humiliation. It took him a long time to process how someone who claimed to love him could do something so calculated and hurtful. In his final update, Mark said he's doing much better now. He moved into a new place, focused on his hobbies, and reconnected with friends. He learned a valuable lesson about red flags and the difference between someone who loves you and someone who loves the drama you can provide. He ended his post by saying he's now in a new healthy relationship with someone who communicates with words, not with an Instagram live stream, and honestly, good for him. What a nightmare situation to escape from. So, what do you all think? Was this the most epic or the most toxic breakup you've ever heard of? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. This story is a wild reminder that in the age of social media, some people will do anything for attention. Thanks for hanging out and listening to this crazy story with me. If you enjoyed it, please hit that like button, and if you're new here, consider subscribing for more Reddit stories. It really helps the channel out. Stay safe, be kind to each other, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.